The Universal logo plays with 8-bit music, and you know you're in for a treat. This is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Let's roll the trailer.
Wait, we're fighting over Ramona?
Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?
I skimmed it. What was that all about?
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
So what you're saying is we are dating?
I guess.
Does that mean we can make out?
Sure.
Here's the internet synopsis. A bass guitarist for a garage band, Scott Pilgrim, played by Michael Cera, has never had trouble getting a girlfriend. Usually, the problem is getting rid of them. But when Ramona Flowers, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, skates into his heart,
Hey, what's up? I'll leave you alone forever now.
he finds he has the most troublesome baggage of all, an army of evil exes who will stop at nothing to eliminate Scott.
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
Now, without further ado, my top 10 loves, likes, and dislikes in no particular order of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Number 1, a love. Edgar Wright is truly a visionary filmmaker. You can tell that every shot with this film was storyboarded. I'm sure Paul, who is usually disappointed about cinematography, will agree that this movie had incredible cinematography. The damn film had incredible everything. The casting, the non-stop and hilarious creative gag after gag, the creativity with the filmmaking. It's a feast that draws heavy inspiration from video games and cartoons. Number 2, a love. The performances, whoever cast this movie did a perfect job. The film is so fantastical, we needed talented actors to balance the film out by playing real-life people, albeit heightened. Of course, Michael Cera was the standout in the cast. We weren't used to seeing him be so entertaining. At the time, we had only seen him be that awkward kid. It was refreshing to see him be so funny and have so much personality.
Garlic bread is my favorite food. I could honestly eat it for every meal.
You get fat.
No, why would I get fat?
Bread makes you fat.
Bread makes you fat?
I loved Scott's roommate, Wallace.
I have to order something really cool.
Scott, are you waiting for the package you just ordered?
Maybe.
We'll talk about him in a minute. Ramona Flowers, good actress and totally gorgeous, playing the mysterious American love interest.
Scott Pilgrim?
Hi, I was thinking about asking you out, but then I realized how stupid that would be.
That's okay. You just need to sign for this, all right?
So do you want to go out sometime?
If I say yes, will you sign for your damn package?
So yeah, 8 o'clock?
Aubrey Plaza plays a very deadpan dickhead.
With hair like this?
Yes, that's Ramona Flowers.
She's out of your league.
You know her? Tell me now.
She just moved here, got a job at Amazon.
Number 3, a love. It's creative gag after creative gag. Here's a small taste. Scott's ex-girlfriend shows up at the door. His roommate opens it, and we see Scott jumping out the window in the background. That got an audible laugh from me. When Scott goes to pee, we see a pee meter going down. Scott has shaggy hair, and every time he's told that, we cut back to Scott, who magically has a hat on his head. There's Wallace, played by the Academy Award winner Kieran Culkin, who is letting Scott crash at his place rent-free. He's gay and very sexually active. Scott and Wallace sleep in the same bed, even if Scott is heterosexual. There's one night where Scott sits up in the bed to say something. Then Wallace sits up in the bed to say something. Then a gay dude from out of view sits up in bed and says something. Then another gay dude sits up in bed from out of nowhere and says something. There's loads of funny Wallace stuff, but I want you to watch it yourself. This is just a small taste of the film's creative gags. They were consistent and shining throughout the entire film. Number 4, a love. As for the creative filmmaking, here's a taste. The hearts that float up from their lips when Scott and Ramona first kiss, that was really sweet, I like that. How about during the final battle against the big villain who has Ramona like Ganon as Zelda? Scott says he's fighting our villain for himself, not Ramona. Scott earned the power of self-respect, says a narrator with big graphics. Level up comes onto the screen, and he gets a sword upgrade to defeat our big bad. And with that sword, a killer fight with our bad guy's henchmen would ensue. Now Scott could have said, I'm doing this for me, and we see he has self-respect, but not in this creative video game romp of a motion picture, and I just love it. I love how when one of the henchmen dies, they turn into coins. It gives it that video game aspect to the film that keeps things light. This isn't supposed to be Kill Bill with blood. Number 5, a love. The 7 evil exes were a riot. Matthew Patel, the fight draws inspiration from video game staples, like a lot of this movie does. A big KO happens when Scott punches the crap out of Patel during an epic fight. Roxy Richter. Ramona has a big hammer and Roxy, I guess, has some kind of blade whip. Anyway, great stunt choreography. The camera is stable and follows the action perfectly. The whole movie is John Wick over Bourne Ultimatum shaky camera crap. Gideon Graves, the super douche who has a record label. He seems to be an abusive ex, Ramona once stated, and now she's going back to him. He has the chokehold. Like what sadly happens to a lot of women, they go back to their abusers. Number 6, Alike. I read the graphic novels, which are fantastic, and Edgar Wright and whoever else was involved absolutely nailed it. They put so much detail into the movies from the comics. There are locations drawn in the comics based on real locations that they wound up using in the film. Obviously, they have to leave a lot out because if you didn't, it would be a mini-series, but they managed to, using whatever wizardry, make a standard-length movie out of all of those graphic novels. That must have been very difficult. Number 7, Alike. The movie had a very, very good original soundtrack written for the film. There was the Clash at Demon Head song, Scott's band songs, and lastly, the Ramona song, sung by Beck, being the standout. It also had a great score. It sounded very much like a video game. Nigel Godrich did a great job. Number 8, A Love. The film had badass fight choreography. Like I said, we're not talking about shaky cam fucking Jason Bourne. We're talking John Wick, we're talking Kung Fu Hustle, we're talking you can see the action. With each evil X battle, you can see everything clear in all its video gamey, cartoony glory. Yes, there are moments where you can see they're using a stunt double, but you're so caught up in the action, you don't really notice. Number 9, A Love. Now, moviegoers know how I love a movie with heart. This movie has tremendous sweetness to it the entire time. That's the kind of thing my grandma would point out and be charmed by. I remember seeing in the Montauk, New York movie theater, which isn't there anymore, Spider-Man 2 with my mom and grandma. I remember my grandma saying about Aunt May, you can tell she knows. I remember seeing Zombieland with my grandparents and Ponyo and Chef with my grandma. We rented so many Studio Ghibli films to watch on sleepovers with my grandparents that my grandpa would say, can we do one with real people now? My grandpa died, and my grandma has dementia. I miss seeing movies with my grandparents. Anyway, a part of what makes this movie charming is the chemistry between our romantic leads. Without that, this wouldn't have stuck the landing. Number 10, one nitpick. Scott went the whole movie without getting laid. We don't even know if they're sexually compatible. Ramona doesn't know if Scott has a tiny dong or not. But don't they say it's the motion of the ocean? I don't know. I live in the gutter. Anyway, it's a masterpiece. There's nothing to dislike. It's an impeccably crafted piece of work. It's just perfect. 5 out of motherfucking 5.
Hello everybody. If you're enjoying the review, why not subscribe and press notifications?
Man, this is one of my favorites. I can't believe I was a dope and didn't see this when it first came out in theaters. I remember watching it on DVD in my friend's basement, and it was an amazing experience. Even on a small, crappy little TV, it jumps off the screen. It's truly one of the most interesting and engaging edited films. But I did get to see it for the 10th anniversary release in 2021. I still remember it as one of the best movie theater experiences I've ever had. The sound design was thunderous. It was so crisp and powerful. I think it slightly ruined the experience for other movies, but in a good way. I was totally spoiled by the technical mastery. Thankfully, the 4K release is the next best thing. Not sure if it's going to get another theatrical release anytime soon, so your best bet to watch this is in the highest quality right here. Any fan of this show has probably heard me complain about modern cinematography, and you've probably heard me praise some others. This is one of the most unique looking movies I've ever seen. It really feels like a comic book came to life. We know Edgar Wright is a master of combining every aspect of filmmaking. The visuals, the sound design, the editing are perfectly in sync here. I'm a sucker for match cut transitions. There's some great night to day, day to night shots. You know, I'm so grateful you guys suggested we talk about this. We were originally going to do a Nora. Max figured it's, just one best picture, let's give it a shot. He started it and warned me it was bad, and my morbid curiosity got to the best of me. So I started it, and I couldn't finish it. I tortured myself for 45 minutes. I couldn't take it anymore. I can get into detail later, but that one best picture? Are you kidding me? When I think of Best Picture, I imagine Return of the King, Parasite, Argo, Hurt Locker, Gladiator, like movies that are actually good. These are just in the last 25 years. What about Amadeus, Braveheart, Forrest Gump, Rocky, Platoon, Ben-Hur, Lawrence of Arabia, The Sting? And these are just off the top of my head. These earned and deserved Best Picture. But now, I'm curious. What Best Picture winners do you think did not deserve the win? I don't know. It could be fun to talk about in the comments. But that's all I have to say about that. So, Scott Pilgrim. This is the only comic book movie I can think of that truly captures the feeling of comic book coming to life. The only other one I kind of came close, but just missed the mark, was Ang Lee's Hulk from 2003. The multiple angles and comic panels and unconventional editing was almost there. It just needed to be a bit more exaggerated. That's where I think Scott Pilgrim exceeds. It's exaggerated and over the top. The words and high scores on screen are part of the world, and sometimes the characters will interact with the VFX on screen too. So smart. When an evil X gets defeated and just turns into coins like a video game, the universe is so wacky and weird and no one questions it. Much like great comedies that stand the test of time. Like an Airplane. Everyone talks in puns and the whole cast is absurd, but Leslie Nielsen plays it straight and accepts everything as if it's normal. It's the same kind of thing here. The dialogue is fast and witty and ties into the visual gags. I love all the video game style. It gives a sense of nostalgia, being that age and playing simpler games about high scores and coins. The cinematography really sells the wildness of this world. The crazy whip pans and zooms and extreme close-ups. The changing aspect ratios emulates that ultra-stylized anime look. The lighting is gorgeous. The rim lights and hair lights make every character jump off the screen. It just pushes the visual medium to the maximum. Even the fight choreography is great. I always have to give credit when action is shot on wide lenses. None of this telephoto shaky cam that hides the action stuff. I think the Bourne trilogy is the only series that kind of pull off that look. But the great thing that holds this movie together is the consistent tone. The acting is just as exaggerated as the world. Whether it's the reserved Scott Pilgrim or the bombastic X's, there's nothing that feels out of place. The visual gags are masterful, as always. My favorite is when Wallace answers the door and Knives asks Scott where he is, and he goes, he just left. You see Scott dive out the window in the background, and perfect comedic time.
We both said that one.
Yeah. It's so easy to gush over imaginative and creative movies like this. Obviously, this is a 5 out of 5. Near perfect movie that has all the ingredients to stand the test of time, and has been getting more popular over the years. A beacon of great filmmaking and a sea of unimaginative garbage that drowns the entertainment industry today. One of my favorite movies ever.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite movies. Show the people. Show the good people.
This is the 4K.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. I like even that shot when she's on the wall and she's framed in this really great way at the party and Scott slides in.
Yeah.
Just everything. The cinematography is friggin' off the charts good.
Yeah.
And memorable, and it looks like they drew right from the comics.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Michael Cera in more stuff. Except, did you see the CeraVe commercial?
Oh, yeah.
That was very
That was funny. He did great work with Tim and Eric, too. He was in a couple of Tim and Eric skits.
Yep. I love Steve Brule.
Oh, yeah, dude. Dr. Steve.
I'm Dr. Steve Brule.
When he sees the wasabi, and he's like, oh, guacamole, my favorite. Oh, this is so spicy guacamole.
Guacamole. I love when he's going on some guy's boat and he starts to throw up and he gets off the boat.
Yeah.
He gets back on the boat, he throws up. Goes, what's wrong with you, bro?
It's so good, right?
What's wrong with you, bro?
It's not that hard to let other people from other cultures talk to you. Dude, me and my friends, we say that to each other all the time. You know what? I just recently got the entire Rocky collection on 4K.
Really? It's awesome.
Might be cool.
Oh, I'm not much of a Rocky fan.
Really?
Oh, the first one.
It won Best Picture.
Yeah, it did.
You know what else won Best Picture?
What?
Nora.
Nora.
You're gonna put a Nora on the same pedestal as Rocky? You know what I mean?
You're saying something.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
saying something.
Like, or Lawrence of Arabia, or The Sting.
Yeah.
Dude.
How are you gonna? Yeah.
Ben-Hur? But yeah, man, so here's the thing. I'm actually really curious if there's other movies out there that people think shouldn't have deserved the win.
Write it in the comments below.
I don't know, are there any Best Picture winners you could think of that definitely didn't deserve it?
Yes. The King's Speech beat The Social Network.
Oh, wow, really? What year was that?
2010.
2010. Oh. This should have won Best Picture in 2010.
Yep.
No, but yeah, man, Scott Pilgrim. Please watch this movie. It's very good.
Don't watch it on fucking Amazon unless you buy it because they put ads in it. They put ads. You're paying fucking $12 or however much a month for Amazon Prime and they put ads in there. Or Hulu. I'm watching A Real Pain and I gotta watch a bunch of fucking ads.
You know, it doesn't have ads.